Good morning and welcome to Ark and Dove Presbyterian Church in Odenton, Maryland. I'm Michelle Schoonmaker, your host on The Lobby, the weekly program on the life and ministry of the church. Today is the 12th Sunday after Pentecost, still in ordinary time. As kids go back to public schools starting tomorrow, we are gearing up for a full slate of Christian education offerings for our children and youth. Today, we will highlight our midweek offering, Logos. Jen Roman will join me in a few minutes to explain all things Logos. But first, let's talk about what else is happening at Ark and Dove. We are very excited to welcome our new interim associate pastors next week, Caroline and Stephen Price Gibson. They have been members for several years, but before that, they had full careers leading other Presbyterian congregations, mostly in the Midwest. Caroline will be preaching next week, and we hope to catch them soon in the lobby. The music program is also ramping up for regular rehearsals this fall. Choir will resume rehearsals every Thursday evening from 7 to 8:30, and there is a spot for everyone in the choir. Please see Rebecca Eccles to learn more or just show up on Thursday evening. We have 2 more weeks, today and next week, with Summer Sunday School, using the Holy Moly curriculum. Thank you to the teachers who made this possible this summer. As we look to resume godly play classes for children ages K through 5, we are still in need of adult helpers. We especially want to be able to offer a middle school class during the 10:30 service. Please see Sarah Fox if you are ready to share God's love with our children and youth. When you return to church from summer activities, let me remind you that we have a new masking policy in place. The 9 a.m. service requires everyone to wear masks. However, at the 10:30 a.m. service, masks are encouraged, though optional. You don't have to wear one anymore. We'll continue using the red, yellow, green name tags so we can get to know each other's names while respecting boundaries. Any leader that is not masked has tested this morning and gotten a negative result. We'll let you know if these policies change again. And start training now for the Lighthouse 5K Run Walk on September 18th. This will benefit our partner organization, the Lighthouse, who is working to prevent homelessness in Annapolis. Now, I'm happy to welcome one of the leaders of our Logos program, Jen Roman. Hi, Jen.
Hi, Michelle.
So, Jen, can you please explain Logos to me as if I were a first-time visitor?
Logos is our children's program that we offer during the week. It's on Tuesday nights. It's separate from Sunday school, like in addition to. It is traditionally 2 hours long. And there's 4 components. There's Bible time, which is where we study God's word. That's what Logos mean, is word. There's family time, where we have a meal together, and it's a family style meal. So we pass around like the dishes and take some for ourselves and practice sharing and leaving enough for everyone. And then there is recreations, where we play games together. And there's worship arts, which is like worship skills. So we'll do music or do drama, or sometimes we do a lot of crafts. We love crafts, but things related to worship.
I didn't realize there was so much involved in those 2 hours.
Yeah.
So what age group is this designed for?
The last couple of years, we've been doing pre-K through 5th grade. Middle school used to be involved, but then they started doing their own youth group that met on Sunday nights with Pastor Don. And again, high school also has their own youth group. I'm not sure how they're doing it this year, but they won't be part of Logos.
Are there any other differences from past years?
It's been a little bit different the last few years. When COVID hit, we had to change everything. The first year of COVID, we were mostly outside. We met like once a month outside, and then we did stuff on Zoom. We did like take home packets for crafts. And then last year we met in person for an hour each week on Tuesday nights. We tried to do as much as we could outside, and definitely weren't eating inside at all. So we had our snacks outside, even when it was like dark and we were like huddled around a lantern. But the kids loved it. This year we're meeting in person, and it's going to be an hour and 15 minutes. And the reason for that is just there wasn't enough time to pack in everything we do in an hour. So we wanted to give ourselves a little bit more time, especially for like transitions between activities. We're going to get into small groups when we get there. Each group has an age group leader that'll welcome the kid. We'll pass out a snack and just chat for a few minutes. And then there'll be 3 rotating stations. And so each small group will go to either Bible time, worship arts, or recreation, and then we'll close. The other new thing this year is that we're bringing back family time, the dinner, because we haven't had that during COVID, since we haven't been able to eat together. So once a month on the 3rd Tuesday of the month, We will have a dinner at 6:20. And so there's a lot that goes into that. And I'll talk about that a little bit more, but we're going to need lots of help preparing that. But I'm really excited to have that back because it's a lot of people's favorite part of Logos is getting together and having that meal.
Yeah, I can imagine it's especially helpful now because we've not been able to share all of that kind of energy, kind of share space with each other in the same way.
Mhm.
So I imagine a lot of the kids and maybe some of the volunteers are looking forward to that. Actually makes me think of something when it comes to volunteering. Do you have to have a child that participates in Logos or can anyone volunteer?
Anyone can volunteer in the church. We actually encourage it. One of the things that's different from Sunday school and Logos is Logos really focuses on building relationships. That's why we're meeting together during the week. And we want multi-generational relationships. So we want like kids to not only develop friendships with other kids in the church, but also to find other role models in the church and like other adults that they can ask questions to if they have questions about Christianity or whatever. So the more people who get involved from the church, the better.
So you mentioned that you need a lot of help.
Yeah.
What do you actually need help with?
One of the things would be the age group leader. So that's somebody that comes every week, is with the kids, and just brings them to each station, is there with them and chats with them when they have their snack. So this year, most likely, we'll have 3 age groups. There's a pre-K through first grade, second and third grade, and fourth and fifth grade. We need people at the stations, someone to help teach Bible time. So the way we have it this year is there's like co-leads. So you'll share who is teaching the lesson, who's just helping. That way, not you don't have to be on all the time. And can kind of take a break, and we'll provide the lesson for you. We purchased a curriculum this year. It's called Growing in Grace and Gratitude. It's from PCUSA. I really like it. There's a lot of cool activities. The cool thing about Bible time is that it's kind of a mini worship session. You come together, you create your worship space, light your candle, it's battery candle, and then you get your Bible, look for where the scriptures in the Bible, read it together, talk about it, say a prayer. It's nice. It's like a good, like getting kids practicing how to do this, even at home. We need people to help do the games, to lead the games, or even coming up with game ideas, because we're always trying to come up with new ideas for games. Someone to help lead the crafts. We already have some people that'll be doing music. Amanda Chris will be leading that. For family time, that's where we need a lot of help too. So we need people to come early. So like around 4:30 on that third Tuesday of the month to help prepare the meals. Linda Lewis is leading family time this year. So she'll be planning the meals and purchasing groceries and stuff, but we need help prepping. We need people to serve the meals. The way it works is that at each dinner table, there's a table runner. So they go to the kitchen window and they get their food and bring it back to the table. But there needs to be someone in the kitchen that's serving that food. And then at the same time, cleaning up the kitchen afterwards. We need someone to set up the sanctuary. So ahead of when the Logos kids arrive for the dinner, they need to get all the tables out. They need to take apart the chairs and put them with the tables. Set up the place settings, decorate for whatever the theme is that month. And then we need people to help break all that down afterwards and put the chairs back together so it's ready for worship. There's a whole list. So in the archive, there is a sign of genius. You can go in there and see everything that we need help with. There's something for everybody.
And I was just thinking the same thing. It sounds like if anybody could find a spot where they could fit or find maybe a time that they could jump in. Sounds like if they could come early and help with some of the setup, or if they can come late and help with the breakdown, we can all find a space to help once a month.
Yeah, or every week if you do the every week thing.
Absolutely. It also sounds like there's a lot of money involved. So is there any actual cost to the families?
We're trying to keep the cost low. We do have a suggested donation per child, which is $30. That's to help cover the cost of food and crafts. But again, that's suggested. So you're not required to pay it, but you're also welcome to pay more if you want to. And that's on there.
Okay. Does the Logos group typically buy curriculums? Like you said, you got this Growing in Grace and Gratitude for this year. Is that something that normally happens, or is it usually the group, the Logos leaders, who kind of figure it out and make it out with the pastors?
I think it depends on the year. So since I've been director, Pastor John has been writing the Bible time curriculum. But everybody knows he went to California. So, and we're still looking for associate pastor. So this year we decided to purchase curriculum. Some of the stuff we're doing this year won't be part of the purchase curriculum, like the music and maybe the crafts. We'll just be planning ourselves.
So are there important dates that interested families need to know about?
Anyone who's going to register to come to Logos, we have an orientation. It's also for volunteers. It's going to be September 13th from 6 to 7 p.m. on Zoom, just to make it easier for everybody. It won't take very long, just like an explanation of, what we'll be doing and some of the rules that we follow for Logos. Start date is September 27th, and that'll be 6 to 7:15.
Could you share more about family time, such as the specific dates and any time adjustments that might be made?
Like I said, it's the third Tuesday of the month, except for December. So the dates will be October 18th, November 15th, January 17th, February 21st, and March 21st. So on those nights where we have full family time with a meal, Logos will be 6 p.m. to 7:30. So we're going to run a little bit later. The meal will be in the middle at 6:20 so that we have time to prep beforehand, and then we have time for people to clean up afterwards.
Okay, great. So it'll start with October and then it'll skip December and kind of go through the end of the year.
The reason we skip December is we won't be meeting the third week of December because of Christmas. We take a 1 week break for Thanksgiving and 2 weeks for the winter holiday.
That's coming up fast.
Yeah, some kids I know have sports, and I just wanted to put it out there that we've had kids who've missed the first 5 weeks of Logos and then jumped in November, because we do go till March, and usually the fall sports season is over at the end of October. So that is an option for families.
Okay. So out of curiosity, how did you first get involved with Logos?
I joined the church when my daughter was 2 weeks old, and yeah, and so we started doing Logos when she was a baby and my son was in pre-K room. So the first year I volunteered in the nursery, and then at the end of the year I helped with pre-K. Second year I did Bible time with Amy Tardif. And then towards the end of the year, Julie was looking for a director because she'd just been doing it all herself as Christian ed elder. And so I agreed to start directing. And then COVID hit like a month later.
Oh, geez. You got to transition quickly, but you may have also gotten a little bit of relief.
Yeah. It's just been like kind of having to make things up as we go along.
I guess coming into that director position, and especially like you said, COVID hit almost immediately after. What has kept you going with Logos?
There's a couple things. One, I just love the community. I love getting to meet the kids in the church and get to know other adults. I don't know if you know, but I work weekends, so I'm not usually there for worship on Sundays. So this is a way for me to be involved. Then my kids love going. They're like, when are we going to church next? So their excitement about Logos also keeps me going.
Talk about some of your favorite moments with Logos.
The ones that stand out to me are recreation. So I think I mentioned at the beginning of last year when we were planning it, we're going to have games outside no matter what the weather is. Are you familiar with Sharks and Minnows, that game? So we had that with pool noodles because, COVID, so you can't touch each other. So you had to, it's sort of like tag, and it was out in the snow. We had snow on the ground. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So and it was in the dark. I have pictures. It was so much fun. The kids loved that game. But I mean, there are some big lights in the parking lot, so it wasn't complete dark. We also did a snowball fight in the sanctuary. That was with giant sized cotton balls. We also did sleeping bag races where one kid was in a sleeping bag and everybody else had to carry them across the floor of the lobby. Just a lot of silliness and fun. And I know some people have described Logos as organized chaos. Sometimes it's just there's so many kids, and there's a lot going on, but it's great. I remembered another reason I keep coming back to Logos. I grew up in a non-denominational church. For me, I'm learning alongside the kids, a lot of the curriculum and stuff. This year, the curriculum is more greatest hits. It's got your creation and Moses and the burning bush and the 10 Commandments and stuff. I love learning, about our faith, and this is a great way for me to do it.
Nice. Was there anything else that comes to mind about Logos that you would want newcomers or even, younger families that have not just started with Logos to know about?
Do ask that one adult from each family volunteer in some capacity, just because it's important to have that family involvement and just to help lighten the load. I know there are some families in the church who have maybe just one child younger than preschool. And I know when I was a young parent, sometimes it felt kind of isolating because there weren't any programs for your kids. So I just want to invite you, if you want to come, bring your child. We have a nursery for volunteers. If you want to volunteer and have your child in the nursery and they can play with other kids and you can still be a part of Logos, that would be great. I forgot I wanted to show you all my shirt. Here it is. So it's the motto for Logos, and it's "You're a child of God and I'll treat you that way." And it goes back to that kind of one of the other purposes of Logos is practicing being in relationship with others and sharing God's love with others and treating each other with respect. And that's another big important part of Logos.
I love that. That is just, it fits so much with all that Ark and Dove has personally represented to me. So I am very excited to hear more about how Logos is going over the year, because I know things get shared and the kids always have fun sneaking stuff in to get more volunteers and whatnot. But that is just a beautiful way to capture all that we do. And like you said, in the intergenerational relationships, as well as, teaching from that youngest age, what we stand for as a church and within the wider Presbyterian community. Obviously, we really appreciate all that you have done with Logos over the years and moving into this kind of new role as the director the past few years. Is there anyone else on your leadership team who has been helping you out?
Julie Devers. Last year we were co-directors. This year she's assistant director. She's taking a little bit more of a step back, but still is helping me a lot, more like advisory to Trisha and Joe Gray. Have been doing worship arts. Like I said, Amanda Cross is doing music this year. Linda Lewis is doing family time. I'd love to have somebody to help me plan recreation. And there's other people too. That's a great thing too. I think that's the reason I keep doing it, is like all the support and having people like still show up every summer and help me figure out what I'm going to do for the year.
That's the beautiful thing about Ark and Dove.
Yeah.
So say, everybody, don't forget to check your archive to sign up for volunteer opportunities with Logos and check those dates.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Jen, for speaking with me today about this amazing program.
Thanks for having me.
And I will say thank you to everybody for watching this week. I hope you have a great week, and the live stream service starts now.